Trump shows the whole world that your United States of America is not all-powerful. America's main enemy is China. If the Americans couldn't handle Iran, as I've said long ago, then they should not mess with China. They will never be able to deal with that kind of power.
The glorious President Lukashenko of Belarus, he did an interview with Rick Sanchez at RT this week, and he discussed the Iran war. Let's hear what he has to say. I think we could all learn a lot from the thinking of Lukashenko, and I think world leaders could learn a lot from the thinking of Lukashenko, because he is a man that refuses to bend the knee to the Western imperialists, as you all know. Take a listen.
Do you see a day you are one of the people who is leading a move for a brave new world in the future? You may not be around, I may not be around, maybe we're too old to see this, but maybe our children will see this, where countries like North Korea, Belarus, Iran, China, Russia, South Africa, Brazil, I could go on, where these countries become a formidable enough force to not defeat the West, but stand next to them as equals. Do you see that day coming? And is that part of what drives you?
God willing, that time will come. I hope such a time arrives. Based on the current situation and circumstances, it's hard for me to believe that this time will come. But despite some foolishness and some impulsiveness, Trump did a lot for this. Trump shows the whole world that your United States of America is not all-powerful.
Niet a superpower.
By its power, it is a superpower, but not a superforce. Everyone has understood this, and America's main enemy is China. If the Americans couldn't handle Iran, as I've said long ago, then they should not mess with China. They will never be able to deal with that kind of power. The US leadership understood that they are a superpower, but not a superforce. This understanding gives hope that once the Americans realize this, they will have to consider not only China and Russia. Russia is such a vast territory that they won't achieve anything with missiles. The missiles will run out faster than the territory of Russia. Iran has shown this too. I'm not even talking about the consequences. The Middle East, the global economy, and so on, they've suffered from this reckless adventure in Iran. I'm not going to discuss that. The facts are clear. They've shown that you Americans need to stop and understand that beyond US interests, Greenland, Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, the Panama Canal, and other parts of the Western Hemisphere, there are countries with their own interests, even within your hemisphere. But Trump has done a lot. Bad thing, as we understand, and you do too. But he's also revealed the true face of the United States and its capabilities to the world. They are not limitless. This situation may lead to Americans being forced to consider other interests, which means that a bright future isn't far off.
Brilliantly said, and we have more Lukashenko clips in a moment, but I just want to take a moment and I want to take a moment and reflect on the words of Lukashenko there, that if America can't defeat Iran, then they have no business picking a fight with China. They're going to get smoked if they go to war against China. It's exactly what, we said as soon as we saw the videos of U.S. fighter jets and U.S. tankers getting blown up and U.S. bases getting blown up after decades and decades of buildup. We saw the evacuation of U.S. troops from their bases all across the region. NATO troops getting kicked out of the Victoria base in Baghdad, outside of Baghdad International Airport. We saw, U.S. warships and aircraft carriers fleeing for their lives out of the Gulf of Oman and back to Greece. We saw all of this and much more. The Strait of Hormuz getting shut down and the U.S. couldn't do a damn thing about it. It became evident that all of this hype, all of this talk about a war with China, my God, never going to happen. Never. It can't be. No one could be that delusional, right? Maybe. If anyone is that delusional, it would have to be those in D.C. who are so high on their own supply that they feel as though a war against the People's Liberation Army will go anything but a train wreck. But it's possible, I guess, America, they couldn't defeat Vietnam. They couldn't win in Afghanistan. After 20 years in Afghanistan, they replaced the Taliban with the Taliban after 20 years. In Iraq, In Iraq now, we have ostensibly a pro-Iran government that is giving Hashd al-Shabi, the popular mobilization forces, pro-Iran militias, the authority and approval to act without prior approval from the Iraqi government to combat all American and Zionist threats. You have the U.S. fleeing from their bases there. The U.S. has no military personnel, no contractors in all of Iraq, with the exception of some small parts of the Kurdistan region. Not even in Erbil, they don't have official presence there any longer. How did any of these wars go? How did Yemen go? A war on Yemen. The war on Yemen, where the U.S. lost fighter ships in the Red Sea, fighter jets in the Red Sea, falling off their vessels, getting almost shot out of the sky by very rudimentary, basic, archaic air defense systems that Ansar Allah possesses. Still, no match for them. No match for Ansar Allah. They wouldn't even get close to Ansar Allah. They couldn't even imagine setting foot on the sovereign soil of Yemen. Wouldn't go well. And now, after claiming victory in Yemen, right? The USS George H.W. Bush, instead of sailing through the Red Sea on its way to the Persian Gulf to try and combat the Iranians, it has to sail all the way down past South Africa because they're so terrified of Yemen's Ansar Allah. Yeah, they're definitely not prepared to take on China. Let's listen to another clip here from Lukashenko. Listen, what human rights are there if you bombed a school, he says. For example, a school in an independent sovereign country which is located tens of thousands of kilometers away from you. There was no threat to you. You bombed the school where children and teachers died. Almost 200 people. How many died because you encouraged Israel's bombings? What human rights are you talking about? If you are for human rights, then let people exercise their most important right, the right to life. People wanted to live, especially children. You destroyed them. Well, here is just one fact from yesterday that completely negates everything you said. Therefore, you have no human rights. You have interests, which in this case are oil, gas, control over them, and you extract these interests by any means necessary, and including in the military. You are ready to bomb, break, crush, regardless of any human rights. This is the basis of dictatorship. Therefore, everything you say, and you said it correctly, within the country, you talk about human rights, about democracy, but in reality, nothing changes in the country. So maybe you have a dictatorship within the country. I gave you a specific example. Outside here is an example of your foreign policy and your democracy. Therefore, as I've been saying for a long time, you will have to learn democracy from us. And we have 100 times more of this democracy than you. Real democracy, real human rights. What human rights can you talk about if you kill people? A man was killed. What rights does he have? How old is Lukashenko, by the way? Because with such clarity, he speaks. 71. In Trump age, I mean, let's be real. Trump never spoke with that level of clarity at any point in his life. Right? 79. Lukashenko's got it and much more. Lukashenko is a wise, wise man. Okay, one more Lukashenko. This one's a little bit shorter.
Реальная политика Запада нам давно известна. Какие бы со мной...
Okay, this one's only in Russian. He said, no matter what negotiations the West conducts with me, I perfectly understand I'm not their son of a bitch, said the President Lukashenko. He stressed that he perfectly understands the true intentions of Western, quote-unquote, partners. They would gladly chew me up and spit me out. I understand this perfectly. Yep. It's a man that's not going to be fooled by a $40 billion IMF check. Unfortunately, unlike so much of the world, even Venezuela now is going to be resuming cooperation with the IMF. What a depressing time for so much of the world. Thank God for people like Lukashenko. Thank God for people like those in Iran, Yemen, Lebanon, Gaza, Russia, China, North Korea. Thank God for them. It'd be a depressing world without leaders like them. That's for sure. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.